Welcome to Tam's Side Goodbye. She's ready to take you to new heights. All you gonna do is open your mind. Take a ride and a deep dive into your life.
Hey everybody, I'm Tamara, and welcome for all of you who are curious and interested in INFJs, and hello to all of you INFJs here. Today we're going to talk about INFJs in love and just talk about some different aspects of that, because I think INFJs really do care about love. I think they probably want it to be magical, deep, and intense, but also fun and lively and enjoyable and just deeply romantic, I think would be the ideal. For any of you who are interested in dating an INFJ, just know that they have a rich imagination and they are intensely caring for other people, especially the people that are in their lives. And they have a very intense and beautiful, can be very beautiful inner world, and a deep concern for others. But sometimes, and I think this is where their introversion comes in, they may not share everything in their inner world. It may take them some time, even if you're really close friends with them. Sometimes it may be years before they reveal things that have happened to them in their lives. But just know that once you get close to them, you will see that they are very caring and they can be gentle when it comes to the human spirit, and they're easy to be around and can be very helpful and pleasant. Let's talk about arguing. If you're an INFJ, do you like to argue? Have you ever had an argument with a mate, with someone that you're involved with, and what was that like for you? Did you enjoy it or did you just absolutely hate it? Because my perception is overall, because, it depends on who they mate with. You know what I'm saying? That can make a big difference. But I think overall, they do not like arguing. They're not going to like that. They're going to want peace and they're going to want harmony. Although I find that they do want to be held accountable. They do like honesty to a certain extent when it comes to what can they do better. So that's kind of interesting. It's like they are open to feedback and honesty and anything they can do to make themselves better. Now, that doesn't mean that, they would be open to someone just flat out mistreating them, but they don't like conflict. And I think if they can figure out a way around it, they will. I've known some INFJs who are in relationships where they don't have any conflict. They just avoid it at all costs. The only thing about that is if, then you have to kind of pretend like you're okay with everything. I'm kind of on the fence because I think some people, they argue in their relationships and they love each other so much and they'll be together forever and that's just what they do. Some people don't want to argue or have any conflict at all. But how do you discuss things that you don't like or things that are frustrating you? I do think in relationships you do have to, there are some things that you would have to tolerate, because everyone is different. And I think sometimes you can't, I think people are hypersensitive in relationships. So you do have to be a little bit careful, because something that you say could destroy the relationship or somebody could just not get over what you've said. So it's a little tricky, but I think some conflict is okay because it deepens understanding. So just curious about what you guys think about that. they can be, some of them can be really great writers, some of them are not, but it may be a way for them to express themselves in the way that they want to express themselves. I've seen poetic INFJs who have written poetry for someone that they really love. They can be quite eloquent with their words. I think when it comes to communication, it's important to them, but they're also introverted. So there are times when they may be quiet. It depends on their Enneagram also. There are some that are quite talkative and lively, and then there are others that are pretty reticent. And it really depends on the energy that they are matched with, because I've heard some INFJs say that they've been with someone where they just couldn't figure out what to say or what to talk about. And then when they're with someone else, they talk effortlessly. So some of them will need to feel really comfortable or just have a certain type of connection to be able to open up and really speak their minds and say what they're feeling and thinking. And that's important for them. So if you're with somebody that you just aren't able to communicate with, it might be a clue that there's someone better out there for you. As far as how they handle money, and the reason I mention money is because in relationships, that's a big deal. Like, that is a deal breaker for many relationships. If you're a spender and they're a saver, it would be nice if you could balance each other out. You have to really compromise and be on the same page. It's probably good to have money that you pay the bills with, and then have your own separate money that you can do what you want with. But hey, that's a whole nother topic. But I think sometimes they don't quite understand money, which is a little surprising. And I'm not saying that all of them don't, because I'm sure some of them do, but it might be something that they find kind of daunting. So they might be a little bit cautious with it, or they might just kind of, hey, I'm just going to get what I want. Then they might feel guilty and pull back. But as far as like being the best money people, they might struggle in that area a little bit. When it comes to romance for them, I know you've probably heard the phrase loss of self in favor of your lover's needs. That's probably them. Like, if they can reach that point, and I think everyone has to be selfless to a certain extent. When you decide to be in a romantic relationship with someone, it isn't just about you. Really, you both need to put each other first, what your needs are, what your wants are, and try your best to meet those things. And that's what romance and connecting and love is all about. And so they want to be able to really love and care and give to their mates on the deepest level. So put in the comment section, do you think INFJs have issues with commitment? I think that it is a deep and permanent and the ultimate fulfillment of life for them. But they do take them seriously, and so they are going to be a little cautious, because they know that once they're in it, they're in it, and they want to keep that commitment and be in it forever. So they can expect a lot from their mate, as far as, they want the best. They want the best treatment. They basically want to give 100%, and they want their mate to give 100% as well. So part of the relationship is growth and becoming better and learning and just being the best them that they can be. But it doesn't mean that they're not going to go through some phases. I mean, that's INFJs, that's NFs anyway. Something new can trigger them to rediscover who they are and figure themselves out from another angle. And they may find struggles when they have children that trigger things in them, like how can I be a better parent, or how can I be the best parent that I can be? And they're going to find deep meaning in being parents and passing their inspirations on to their children and remembering what it was like for them and trying to make up for that. So, like, if they felt like their parents didn't give them a lot of attention, then they're probably going to devote all their energy, or as much of their energy as they can, into raising their children, even if that means turning off the TV, turning off their cell phones. They're going to really try to make up for anything that they lost. But like I said, parenting, mating, all of that is going to trigger some inner stuff that they are probably going to very willingly want to deal with and heal from and, grow from. Some of them are going to want to see some measurable goals in their relationship, and not to sound, unromantic, if that's a word. It's just that they are going to measure themselves. They are going to judge themselves. They are going to look at markers and see, wow, I like how I did that, or, oh, I like how that turned out. And wow, he was very responsive to me in that way. And they're going to be into their mate, like figuring their mate out, the nuances. Like, I know that hug meant you were mad at me, or that hug meant you forgive me. Like, they will be interpreting body language and all of that just in an effort to make things better and to keep harmony. Now, it doesn't mean that they can't be argumentative with their mate. It just depends on what their Enneagram is and who their mate is. But overall, they're going to always come back to wanting this level of harmony and knowing that they haven't offended in the long run and that everything is okay. Let's talk about ending a relationship. That's always hard, no matter who you are. So if a relationship ends, they are going to be pretty tough on themselves. They may feel really guilty, like, what did I do? Could I have done something better? It might be difficult for them to let go in that sense. I have seen some INFJs hold on to a relationship way too long, longer than they should, when the relationship is just over, it's not moving forward, or the person is not making the commitment that they want, and just holding on for way too long. I've seen them do that before, and that's not to say that they all do that, but I do think most of them do come to a point when they will say, hey, this is enough. I'm done. And then it may be hard to get them back after that point. Like, after they've reached that conclusion, then they may stick with it and say, I'm not going to go back to that situation because it wasn't good for me. But of course, it's hard for them, but they will move on to other relationships. So you let me know what you think of being in a relationship with an INFJ, or if you're an INFJ, what is the number one thing that you want in someone who you have romantic involvement with? Let us know in the comment section. And I would love it if you would check out my book. I actually wrote a book called The Workplace Narcissist. So if you're dealing with difficult people in your life, it could be work, it could be outside of work, actually. I think my book will really help you to deal with some of those people, give you some strategies, and just help you in whatever situation that you're going through. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I will chat with you again in the future. Bye.
Personality disorder, stay away from them narcs. Watch your personality target, you know who you are. Welcome to Tam Psych Advice.